Auto Loan Workbook Video 4. In this lesson, we will complete our loan table. We started by creating this worksheet, and then we're looking at purchasing a car. And we're looking at purchasing this car for $30,000 at 4% interest rate for a period of 5 years or 60 months. And we learned that for the payment function, we need to have our time indicated in periods, or in this case, our periods equal months. And so at the conclusion of video 3, you completed months 1 through 5. So at the conclusion of video 3, you completed months 1 through 5 for the beginning balance, payment amount, interest amount, principal payment, and ending balance. And our overall goal here is an understanding that when we make a monthly payment, a portion of that payment is an interest amount, which is the cost of borrowing the money, and then there's a repayment amount that actually goes to repaying the original principal amount, in this case $30,000 that we paid for, and then we have a running balance to show progress towards the repayment of this $30,000. And so now what we want to do is extend these 5 payment periods all the way to 60. And so to do that, we have to make some adjustments to some of these values as far as how they're calculated, how they're referenced within this worksheet. Let's start with the beginning balance. The beginning balance is a formula that simply references the ending balance of the previous period. So that formula can be copied using this fill handle, and go ahead and we can copy that all the way down, and we'll do that in just a minute. The payment amount references the location of the monthly payment that we calculated back in video 2. So we will have to adjust that, because if we just take that number and calculate, or copy I should say, we'll get a problem there, because what's happening is that it's what we call a relative cell reference. And it's so instead of going to this location every time, it adjusts to the location below it and then the location below that. And that's why months is showing up here. If I were to keep going, it would start showing these numbers. There you go. That's not what we want. What we have to do is make this an absolute reference, to absolutely go to this location. We learned in previous videos that if we put a dollar sign in front of all of these, $B and $8, then we can copy that and we'll always get $552. Let's check out the interest amount. How was that calculated? The only thing we needed for that to do is to always go over here to the ending balance, but then it needs to come up here to the interest rate. And so we need to do something to make sure that it doesn't slip on down to all these other cells when we copy it all the way down to 60. Again, we want B5 to be an absolute reference, so let's put a dollar sign in front of that. $B, $5, enter that, and then we should be able to copy that. Okay, there it is. Principal payment. Let's take a look at what has to happen there. Well, we can leave this one because we're simply going 2 cells to the left minus 1 cell to the right and give us our answer, and we do want that relationship to stay the same all the way down to payment number 60. And then the last one we have to deal with. Once again, we can leave this as is, what we call a relative cell reference, because for every payment we want it to go 4 to the left minus 1, 2, 3 to the right, and reveal that answer. So those can be copied. So now what we can do, I'll zoom out just a little bit here, and we can just take this and copy this one all the way down to 60. And right now it looks a little strange because it's waiting for some information here. So let's keep going and see if it works out for us. Payment 60, there's the same payment every month. Now, when we do this, you should see the interest rate decreasing all the way down. Still need some more information. Principal payment. And the last one. And there we go. Completed our table. Let's see if it makes sense. Each month that we make a payment, the amount of interest we have to pay goes down. The reason is because we have less money outstanding as far as what we borrowed from the original amount. The amount going to pay off the loan continues to increase. By the time we get to the end, most of the payment is just going to pay off the loan, and then there's very little interest here. And then here, this is a real good sign that we did this correctly. By payments number 60, we owe 0. And once again, easier way to look at how this is coming together as you scroll through it is you can go in and lock or freeze those panes. So we can keep our headers here, and then we can see. By payment 60, we had a beginning balance of $550, and only $1.84 went to interest, and our principal payment is $550 and finishes off the loan, and our car is paid for. So that's how we create a table. Applied the simple interest formula, and we've applied it in a fashion that allows us to use the monthly payment function, and then we use that monthly payment function to help us calculate a repayment loan schedule so that we can go to any particular location within this 5-year period and find out how much we owe and how much we have paid. Once you have that complete, have me come by and look at it, and we will compare our values.